You've been to one or two of these before, so you might have us figured out a bit. We often come up with long, rare, sometimes complicated, very specific words. Sometimes we even make up words of our own. So your word might seem short, or one that is often heard, but it shouldn't be thrown around lightly. Your word, like you, Kathryn, is sturdy, reliable, and should be reserved to describe a select few. You, my love, are brave. Brave was chosen for many reasons, and I think you'll get a kick out of this one. At first glance, one might compare you to a typical Disney princess. Long blonde hair, chipper and full of glee, surrounded by a horde of animals as you go about your chores. And as amusing as that comparison is, it lacks the depth that you contain. If I were to compare you to a princess, you remind me more of the Princess Merida in the Disney movie Brave. She was considered the first break from the traditional Disney princess. She's strong-willed, draws strength from her large family, and ultimately finds strength from within. While she ultimately draws strength from her family, first she musters the courage, the bravery to separate herself from her family to figure out who she is and what she really wants. I think it's common knowledge that you come from a rather large family, and a family that shares a lot of passions and same interests with each other. You draw so much strength from them, and there are many ways you have separated yourself. Exploring your passions and interests, learning to play the ukulele, camp counseling, dance, Netflix binging as a passion, I don't know, organizing Secret Santa, school dances, and any other quirky woods traditions that bring people joy and are often thankless, but incredibly important to all of us. I mentioned earlier the word brave is tossed around a lot, more than it should be. And I think the reason that it is because it's misunderstood. When people hear brave, they might think a knight, someone actively or aggressively fighting, defending someone's honor or their own. And yes, that can be brave, but there is a quiet and more powerful meaning associated with the word. Bravery cannot exist without vulnerability. I want to quote someone who most of us know as Miss Manly's soul sister, Miss Brene Brown. She said, "Embracing our own vulnerabilities is risky, but not nearly as dangerous as giving up on love or belonging and joy, the experiences that make us the most vulnerable. Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light." The infinite power of your light, Kathryn, is seen in so many ways. Your vulnerability has turned to bravery time after time, whether it's climbing the stairs, the red stairs in New York, or tackling big hikes in Big Bend. Senior thesis is another example. I know it was a struggle for you in many ways this year. I was astonished and inspired watching your bravery as you stood in front of your community and talked about something that is so important to you and so hard for so many of us to talk about, your faith. Your brave light and bravery were also seen by girls who probably needed it the most as you went out of your comfort zone this summer to be a counselor for children whose parents were incarcerated. This week you sent me the video you made for your final senior thesis project, and it was the ultimate embodiment of your vulnerability turned brave. The video showed members of your class holding up a whiteboard with the struggle or vulnerability that they faced, as you narrated, saying, "Our struggles make us who we are." The video ended with the same seniors holding up the same whiteboards, but now with the dreams or goals written on them, and your message that the struggles can help us reach those goals. Your board said, "Make everyone feel special." Well, it's time for another goal, because you've done it. Your bravery allows you to connect with people, all sorts, all ages, backgrounds, walks of life, etc. From my 2-year-old son, to your campers, to classmates, teachers, family, to the brave people that serve our country, and so many others. You, my brave Kathryn, have made us all feel special.